everybody, welcome to Lisa's Art Room. Tonight we're going to be working on our Halloween Book Nook style vignette. Y'all come in and say hi, let me know you're here. We are live on Facebook, if you see the little red button at the top left. If not, you're catching a replay. Let me get you guys pulled up on my other device so I can see chat. Check to make sure my volume is okay. Hey, Dawn. Hey, Nancy. Y'all let me know if the volume's okay. I assume it is, but it's been working. We'll see if it stays that way. So we're working on our vignette. Get some more, a little bit of prep stuff. We might start putting it together tonight. I got a floor to do, so that'll be fun. I got a whole container full of goodies. Thanks, Dawn. All right. Oh, and I got to put the gate on. I think I'm going to do that tonight. All right, let me go ahead, pull the camera up top then, and we'll get started on this. Oops, wrong button. So, things I'm going to do tonight. I start getting this guy together. Where is that out? It's not that one. It's not that one. Must be this one. Okay, so we got this guy together. This is to hold our little boy. And then I debated on using this for the floor, but I think I'm going to use some wood. Got our cabinet all grungy looking. And I may have grunged it up even more. I've been trying to kind of grunge up things a lot. I think I added some rust to this. I think. Come on. I'm trying to get it to zoom. I think I added a little more rust to that, which is just that oxide. This one, this Distress Oxide Spray, which looks really light, but it's really goes on darker than that. All the oxide stuff sticks down there. You gotta shake it up real good. But when it dries a little bit darker. So I think I put some of that on there. Let's see. Our cute little skeleton dude. So wood floors. I'm worried I'm going to lose this little piece. So I want to start getting that bottom covered up, but I just want to finish the wood floor first. I'm going to stick this in here. So I don't think I need the people. So with the people, I went ahead, painted the backs black, and I embossed them just so they weren't plain. That way it looked better, and it also gave them a little more support than just the paper doll, so that because they're going to be standing by themselves and stuff with, you know, maybe a stick or something, but I needed them as strong as I could. So I did that off camera. I grabbed some lace in case I wanted to do it like a curtain on top, which I probably will to hide light. So, all right, so here's my fence. I want to work on that. And I never did get labels for this. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that. I'll have to figure it out. Alright, so I'll stick this here for now. So the wood, that's my little samples. I didn't do a window. I was going to do a window. Oh well, that's okay. So let's see what we've got so far with our So we've got our vignette box. This is the book nook part. It's been covered with the wallpaper. It doesn't have a floor or a ceiling right now. For the floor, at first I thought I'd just throw this die cut cobblestone in there, but I don't think it looks quite right. So I decided instead I would make some faux wood. So I'm using popsicle sticks. And what I've done is I've glued several together with just some wood glue to get a flat sheet. Okay, you can see on the back, I just taped it to hold it while the wood glue was drying, but I'll probably just leave the tape there. And it's pretty sturdy. And then I cut in a wood floor. Of course, I cut myself. I always do, because I was doing it in a dumb way. But I figured out the best way is not to use your utility knife to cut in this. If you're going to use a sharp blade, use this kind. It's easier to control than using this one, which is what I was doing, which was dumb. And I don't even know how I cut myself. I cut myself like across my finger right there. So I guess I just slipped and hit it. It only takes a tap. But, so what I ended up doing to make these grooves, I'll show you on this little one here, is I just used a stylus. And it worked really well. I did go in and groove it just a little bit more with a blade, but a stylus worked just fine. And I had a Dollar Tree one here somewhere. Alright, so just a little Dollar Tree stylus. So it has a really fine ball pen on that side. Even this Fiskars one has one that's real small. But I used the Dollar Tree one. I didn't want to use my good one. And all I did was, I'll zoom in a little bit more. Take a ruler. Hey, Angela. So for that, first I cut it to the size and shape of the floor. So I figured out what size it needed to be. Now I've got it in there, I can't get it out. And then I just took my wood, my popsicle stick, and my stylus, and I just went along it and made some grooves. Instead of trying to do it with a blade, which was harder. And then I just made, wood lines going randomly along it. Okay? So that's what you get. I'll try and see if it's showing up on camera. There. Okay? So you don't have to use a blade. You can just use a stylus. And then you don't risk cutting yourself. Like me. So I did that. And like I said, if it's just not deep enough for you, you can go back in and, use your blade. I saw one lady on there doing it with these on her fingers. Just the fingers that you're not cutting with. And that way, if you slip, you're more likely to hit that. And not your actual finger. Because some of these, you want the grooves to be just a little bit deeper, and you just kind of go each direction and take out a little tiny slither of wood. Okay? And that just helps it to be a little bit deeper. if you need to. You might not need to, but that's how I made the floor. And then we're going to color it. So I did go over it with some sandpaper, just some fine grit sandpaper, and I kind of just went into the grooves and just gave it a little bit of a sanding, just so there's no loose splinters that will get me later. But floor, okay. So just try to knock off any loose little splinters, it'll get you. So coloring, I had two choices. I had a darker choice and a lighter choice. And this one is black multi-surface paint for the base, and then coffee latte rubbed over that, which I think I like better. This one was Liquitex acrylic ink and burnt umber for the base, and vintage white dry brushed over. Okay, so two different versions. I think the darker is going to look better with my wood. I debated on the lighter, and I think that this will look better with the wood. This one just, it blends in a little too much, I think. This one stands out a little bit more. So I think I'm going to do that. Where'd that blade go? There it is. I just want to make sure I had the cork on it before I stick myself. So we're going to paint this real quick so that you can see how I did that. Probably just going to use a paper plate or something. So like I said, I wrote on the back so I wouldn't forget what I did, but black multi-surface paint, so just normal folk art multi-surface that I use all the time. You could probably use the distress paint if that's what you have. I mean, this is what I have, so this is what I used. And just like a stiffer brush so that you can get into the grooves. Like a hog hair is good. Let's see if I can find one. No idea where the one is I use. Let's see if I can grab one. Hog hair brushes. Have a ton of them somewhere. There they are. Alright, there's a good hog hair brush. By hog hair, I mean it's a bristle. It's a stiffer bristle brush. They don't always say hog hair. Sometimes they say bristle. They say different things, but it just helps getting in the grooves. And you can water it down if you need to a little bit. I'm not going to if I can get away with it because, focus. I'm trying to see, catch up camera so I can see. Okay. That way it'll dry faster. I don't want to have to wait forever for it to dry. If I wet it down, it does take longer to dry, so. But I just need to mostly get it into the grooves of that wood. I probably should put some gloves on. Let me throw a glove on because I'm going to get paint all over me. Okay. So I'm just trying to get it in there. Like I said, if you do wet it a little bit, it does go in better, but you have to wait longer for it to dry. So since we're live, I don't want to wait. It might start warping a little bit because one side's going to be wet, and this is larger than just my little sample. If that happens, I can just paint the back and it'll unwarp. Because what it does is it pulls on one side and causes it to warp. But if you paint the other side as well, which doesn't matter because it's just going to be on the floor, it'll be covered up. It glues a little better without paint, but it should glue fine. I shouldn't have any real issues, but I am going to paint it just a little bit just to counteract any warping that I might get today. Just enough. Get in there. And I'm just kind of looking to make sure I'm in all those grooves. And just turn at different angles because you'll see things you didn't see. And all right, that should be good. So I'm gonna wash this brush out. And set that aside. We'll jump over to something else for just a few minutes to give that some time to dry. I probably should paint that front edge though. I'll just use my finger. I didn't grab that front edge. Just whichever edge you think is going to be the front. The rest will be covered, but I don't want that one. Oh, it's quite that thick. All right, so let's set that aside. Clean off my hand. Oh my gosh, I keep grabbing like 10 wipes instead of one. All right, pull that off. So while that's drying, we'll jump over to, you should sit here and just keep us company. You're so cute. So I've got to do this fence, and I'm going to attach it to our background. Although, do I want to do that or do I want to cover it first? I better cover it first. All right, let me think. All right, guy, you got to move. Sorry, you're in my way. So this is going like this. So I went ahead, cut that out, glued it on there. I don't know if I did that last time or not. I think I did. And then I poked little holes. So I've got my wires. Now I repurposed the wire from the lighting. You can use floral wire, that's fine. If you're using the wire from the lighting, it is a little more of an inconvenience because you have to wrap it because it's two. So you have to, I'm trying to see which direction I went. I think it went that direction. You have to make sure it turns into one, so you just kind of keep twisting it until it's one. If I went the same direction every time, that would make life so much easier, but some are counterclockwise and some are clockwise. I don't know why. But just make sure you got one wire. I think all of them are pretty good. Oh, that one's falling apart. They start falling apart that you can't get them in the hole. All right, so let's see if I hold it this way. I should have just used the floral wire instead of repurposing, but you know me, I don't like to waste. And I had this wire, and I think at the time I couldn't find my floral wire. And I knew I had this. There. All right, so I've got this, and what I did is I want this to go okay, like this. Let's see if I can hold it. It's very difficult, but you get the idea, okay? It's going in the front there, but it's going to be open just a little bit. So what I did is I poked holes. So the holes I did with my awl. I had to do it ahead of time to make sure it would work. I wasn't 100% sure. Thought it would, but you know. So I poked holes so that I could feed this wire through. So I've got a hole from the front here, okay, that goes to the inside. Ooh, lighting. Let's see if I can get this light in here. Okay, it goes from here to the inside. Where's that? There. Can you see it? Right there. Okay? And then there's a side one that comes from the side edge, and it comes on the side of that one. Okay? And that leaves that little bit of material right there that it's grabbing. It's not a lot, but it's enough. Okay? So that's how I did this side. This side was a little different because it has a lip on there. So for this one, I have one that goes to the inside, and then I have one that comes through the outside here. And it comes through like that. Focus. Oh my gosh, camera. You drive me crazy. There. Comes through like that. And then I have another one that comes inside there. Okay, so this one has 3 and 3 there because it had to be done a little bit different. So those get wired through those holes to hold on to. And it seems to work. And then what I'm going to do is on the inside, that's what those were for. I was like, what is that for? Now I remember. The inside, I have just a thin piece of wood that was a scrap from one of the popsicle sticks. And I'm going to wire that on the inside just to give it a little more stability, something to hold on to. And I've got 2 of them somewhere. I should have. Granted, I saw one the other day and I was like, what is that? Do I even need that? And I might have thrown it away. I hate when I do that. I make something and then I see it later and I'm like, oh, that just looks like trash. Throw it away. No, it's not trash. Don't throw it away. Okay, there's the other one. So I didn't throw it away. Yay. So I've got 2 sticks for just holding the wire onto, and they'll camouflage into the back just fine. So that's how we're going to put that on there. But I think I might want to go ahead and put my paint and stuff on this first. And I might be ready to go ahead and try to glue this book on. I've been waiting to glue this book on because it's going to be harder to handle with the book on there. But I do need the book on there for certain things. So I think I will glue that on soon. But I'm going to go ahead and put paint and stuff on this to get this base started. Some of it I could put after and it won't be a problem, but I think I'll go ahead and base coat it and maybe put the brick on. I should be able to do that. Base coat it and put the brick on, because I don't know. I'm not going to base coat under this because I want it to be fairly plain, and I'd have to figure out where I'm going to come in with the lights. I know I'm going to come in through the book, but I think I'm going to come in at the back here, you know, into here, and then the lights will be underneath. And then I'll go everywhere else from there. I don't know where exactly, but that's the plan. So I'm debating if I can, oh, do I need a ledge? It feels higher on one side slightly. I think I had planned on putting a piece of wood under there to raise that ever so slightly, just so my door didn't stick. Although, I was debating how I was going to close this door. And I'm thinking I could put a little latch right here on the wood. Like right here. Something that just flips up. Just to catch that. Because I was debating how I was going to do it and make it look okay. I could totally do something like that. I don't know how it will work over the bricks, but I might could do that. I still got to figure that out because this door is going to be, I know it's going to be a problem. It's not going to want to stay closed. Because by the time I get all the paint and the wallpaper in there, even though it's not really touching that edge, it seems to be affecting it a little. All right, so let's paint this black, I think. But I want most of that bare. So let's just go ahead and mark it where we want it bare. Because if it's not, oh, I need some I got a little spot there where there's no glue. I don't want that to catch on anything. I wonder if it's coming over the edge. Doesn't feel like it. Let me just throw a little bit of glue on there. Might be coming over that edge just ever so slightly. Don't want nothing snagging. All right, that feels okay. And then I gotta figure out how I'm gonna glue it. Because like I said, I don't think it's sitting flat. I think this is raised because of this base. So I need to put something on here to glue it to that. So I think what I will use, I don't want to have to drill through too much. I think I'm just going to use cardboard. But maybe like more like chipboard, like cereal box. Yeah, like a couple of layers of this should do it. Because I don't want it, if I put wood, then I've got to drill through 2 layers of wood for my lights. And that might make it even more challenging. I don't know, maybe. Maybe I should put wood. But I definitely, and I had forgot that, I'm going to have to fill that in because it's definitely raised. There's the possibility I could just put a couple of pieces of foam, but it won't be as sturdy. I think I'll do wood. Wood's harder to cut out, but it's not super hard to cut. Let me see. It's close. It's almost right width. All right. This is probably safe. It's the right depth. Yeah, it's the right depth already. Let's just use this wood. Not what I really wanted to do. You could even use popsicle sticks. I could just feed a whole bunch of popsicle sticks in there. That's the right height too. If I didn't want a solid piece. But solid will be sturdier. But popsicle sticks are cheaper, and I saved this for something better. We're going to use popsicle sticks. I don't want to waste my good wood. Not that it costs like $3. I mean, it's not like it's crazy expensive or nothing, but let's see. How many of these do I have? I mean, I have a whole bag of them. Let me find them. All right, popsicle sticks it is. I think I got these at Walmart. I'm not sure. That one's real funky looking. We're going to toss that one. All right, so we'll just fill it in with that. That'll work. I just got to cut them off flat first and figure out how deep to go. So I'll just measure one with a pencil, if I can find a pencil. All right, so it looks like we want all of these to have their ends chopped off there, and then this one here. Okay, so I could probably just cut these with my knife, my cutter. When cutting these with something like this, if you don't have a miter shear, a miter shear is that it's like a flat looking thing and it has a blade that comes on the top and it cuts like that. If you don't have one of those and you're using one of these, when you cut, the outside edge almost always messes up and it breaks. The inside edge doesn't. I don't know why. So, like if I cut this piece, see which side it is. Oh, it's actually that side. One of the sides will almost always break up. And you have to kind of figure it out. See how that just disintegrated? But this side's okay. So I don't know what side it is. I think it's the, I thought it was the side to the left, but I don't know now. Anyway, I'm just going to do this just to make sure this is the right size. Yeah. And I can fine tune this after. But we'll just cut them easy. I'm just going to cut them easy because it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, honestly. So we're just going to do it this way and hope for the best. Because I think it'll be quicker. So there's 2. I think I need like 4. I need to buy some miter shears. I don't have any. I guess I need like 4. Let's try one more. And that one's warpy. We don't want that one. It's all warpy. If you want to be frugal, you could save these for tombstones or something. Shingles. They work real good for shingles. Like you can place them together sometimes. All right, did I get 4 of these? Let's see. Is it gonna fit? Ooh, it's really close. I just gotta trim one just a little bit. Okay. So let's see. Let's just pick one. So now I gotta be dangerous just a little bit. I think about much. Let's see. We're going to try to protect ourselves. Where's my cutter? Cat's wanting out already. Doesn't do any good if you have a finger that's there. That usually you can just do a little bit and it'll kind of split, and then you can kind of do the rest. Sometimes you can just go through it all. Yeah, I need like 6 of those things on my fingers. There. All right, take that little bit off. Cover this up before I cut myself. See if this fits. We good? Pretty good. That will work. And hopefully that'll be enough to just raise it to where the glue can actually attach to here. I think it'll be enough. The thing doesn't fit my thumb at all. So I'm just going to glue these straight on here. Might tack that up a little bit. It's kind of slippery. Sand it, give it a little bit of grit. I don't know what kind of paper that is. It's definitely shiny. And then I should be able to use just plain old art glitter, but let's use something stronger. We'll go with the wood glue. Takes a bit longer to dry, unfortunately. But, and then, do I want to sand these first? I'm going to sand. That's not strong enough. That's not strong enough. Okay. I'm going to just sand these ends. They don't have to be absolutely perfect, but try to get them kind of close. That one keeps falling out. Maybe I should just do the 3 at first. That one's giving me issues. Almost. I have one that's just slightly longer. I know this probably isn't the best way to do it, but you know, shortcuts and all that. 1, 2, 3. Get in there. 4. That's close. That one is totally warped. Are you gonna give me problems? Hopefully not. Alright, let's just go for it. I don't know how much glue it's going to take. I'm kind of guessing. Wood glue all over my fingers now. I don't think it's too long. Like I said, I'll have ground on there too, so it'll be covered some. Yeah, this one's shorter. That one's just a fraction long, guys. Here, hold on. I hate to do this with glue all over it, but it's just a fraction long. Not much, just the teeniest bit. You do have a lot of leeway with wood glue as far as drying time. All right, here's one. Come on. Oh my goodness. Hopefully this works. I think it'll work. Like I said, it just has to touch that surface. Hey, Deborah. You on the phone? Okay, I'm going to put the little one in the narrower one in the middle. Just because it has a little less surface, it'd probably be safer in the middle. So I'm trying not to use too much glue, but enough that I get hopefully good adhesion. This will take a while to dry. I don't know how long. Probably longer than today. All right, let me get my finger cleaned off. All right, we're gonna have to secure that with some weight or something. So hopefully that will make that enough. That is above, at least if nothing else, flush. I think it'll be okay. It feels pretty close. This side feels flush, but these two is a little iffy, but I think it'll be all right. But I gotta put some weight on there. I'll just figure out what I can put on there. Something flat. How about the lid to one of these? Yeah, that could work. And then something heavy on top. I'm not worried about sticking to this too much. Should be okay. All right, weight. Heavy bottle. I think a little brick or something. They make those little weights you can buy. I need those. I need those little weights. I don't even have a rock handy. All right, I'll find something next to me here. I'm just gonna let this dry for a bit. It might keep us from getting back to that, but that's okay. We'll do something for a minute, and hopefully the wood floor won't be a problem. All right, look for a weight. I know I have something. All right, you know what? I have rocks. I'm just gonna grab one. weight it down. Hopefully it'll be okay. If I thought about it, I would have done it ahead of time. I didn't think about it. So let's paint this. Don't lose your little sticks. You need those little sticks. Let's just go with black, I think. I don't know what, it's going to have ground like dirt. Debating if I want to keep some of that open. It glues, wood glue glues better to bare wood. So I'm thinking I'll leave a little bit of that open. I know it's approximately this size, so as long as I leave some of it open. So I think that's what I'll do. I'll leave just this little portion right here unglued. So like right through here. That way I know it at least has some bare wood. Well, this isn't really bare, but it's stained with a really, really light coat. So it's almost bare. Yeah. Now it's a little more bare. All right. And then we'll just paint the rest of this. What's this? Black paint. I just don't want anything showing, and the black will camouflage the best. All right, kitty, hold on, guys. Sorry. I know. Out you go. Okay. Not in the good way. Sorry. Hopefully it's not making too much noise. Alright. I think I'm just going to use a sponge. Do I have a sponge? I do have a sponge. I want it to be quick. I don't want to take forever painting this. So I'm just going to use a little wet sponge. Should have just painted it black. I think this one was already painted when I picked it out, so otherwise I probably would have just painted it black to start with. Usually black works best as a base for things like this. There, nice and quick. And we'll do this edge. I don't think it's going to show, but the inside can stay brown for all I care. Right there. Put that in water. Wash it out. That'll dry pretty fast because it's just sponged on, which is always nice. Okay, so there's that. Let's move this out of my way. Gloves again. I might hit it with the blow dryer just to dry it quick. Is that dry? Yeah, see, that dried really fast. Not too warpy. I think we'll be okay with that. Alright. I'll let that dry for just a second, then I'll probably hit it with the blow dryer. So for right now, we'll do this. I'm just going to jump around getting things done. Do I have one of these with paint on it already? These are just cereal box thingies that I use for gluing or painting or whatever. Okay. So, what did I say I used for this? Coffee latte. Something's wet. Oh, it's probably that. It's not this. Was it the edges? Must have been the other thing. All right, coffee latte. Is that coffee latte? Nope, that's camel. Is that coffee latte? That is. All right. So we're just going to dry brush this. A bit of paint, something for dry brushing. You could just go over it with your fingers too, if you want. If this doesn't work, I'll go over it with my fingers, but we'll try dry brushing first. So for dry brushing, you just get a tiny, tiny bit of paint on there, and then you really, 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 really take it off. A lot. So much more than you think you need to. Okay, and then all we want to do is catch the top edge of our floor. And if this isn't going to be quick enough, I'll do it the other way. The dry brushing can be very slow. It works great with miniatures, but it depends on the effect. It's doing it, but it's not fast enough for my taste. So I think I'm going to use my fingers. All right, I'm going to use my fingers. Let me wash that out. All right, fingers it is. So let's get on my finger till it's almost off. And very, very carefully going to catch just that top edge. And see if I got it grooved enough. Hopefully I did. As long as I get my grooves deep enough, this will work perfectly. It takes a couple of coats usually, because it is going on black. And you don't want to go too fast or too thick, because then you'll go inside the grooves, and then you kind of killed your whole purpose. Let me zoom just a little bit in. Is it focused? I think it's focused. I can't tell. If you don't want paint on your finger, just find something flat. Possibly a makeup wedge or something might work. See, that's too thick. I wonder if I got this grooves deep enough. I hope I did, because I don't want to have to do it again. Alright, it's coating in there too much, which means my grooves aren't deep enough. So, before we go too far, let's find a paper towel. We're going to fix that. Because I'll ruin it and then it won't work. Alright, so we need deeper grooves. Sometimes when you paint that first layer, what happens is the paint fills in too much. And now I'm going to have some white spots, but I will fix that. The paint filled in too much and it killed all my grooves. So probably should have done a wash instead. The problem is the wood swells. It's wood. So wood swells. So there's all kinds of little issues you can run into. But we're going to make this work. I've done the test. Obviously it works. I know it works. It's just getting the grooves deep enough. Is this the little side? Yeah. Okay. Just making sure I have the right side of that, because one side's fat. And the other side's smaller. Any of these little spots where I have too much paint removed, I'll fix. So I know that's going to happen. This doesn't have to be perfect wood grain. It could be, you know, random lines. The big ones aren't so bad. It's those little ones that
see if that's better. So I just want to put a little bit of black. Let go. Oh my goodness. Just got a splinter there. Doesn't want to release. Release splinter. Okay. I'm debating. I think I'm just going to use a marker. I don't want to throw paint in there right now. So I'm just going to touch these areas with a marker real quick. If a little bit of the white shows through, it's really not a problem. But all right, let's try this. Let's see if it's any better. I hope. Maybe I have too much paint on my finger. It's starting to get there. Very rustic looking. You have to have a little bit of patience because going too fast will do nothing but fill in those holes and then just destroyed it. You gotta start over. If you fill them in, you gotta start over. Make more lines. If you have a die that makes wood like this, use your die. I didn't have a die that makes wood like this. I have brick, I have cobblestone, but I didn't have wood. So I'm making my own wood. And that's fine, because it will look cool. Alright, it's getting there. We need just a teeny bit more paint. And this is water-based paint, so it'll wash off my hand. Almost. So close. You can go as dark or as light as you want. I like it just a little bit lighter. Okay, here's what we have. Let's see how it's showing. Very rustic looking piece of wood. I feel like it needs to be just the teeniest bit more. Oops. No. I didn't want that thick. Get off it there. Too much on my finger. All right. Just kind of fixing spot I obliterated. There. All right, that's pretty good. I think I'm good with that. All right, and clean, kind of, sort of. Not quite. Almost. Okay, so once you get your wood to look the way you want your wood to look, you have a little wood floor. And that's going to go in my vignette book nook. All right, what else can I do? We can start putting the brick on because we still got to wait for that vignette to dry, just that book to dry just a fraction more. So let's start putting this brick on the edges. Is that dry? Almost. It's dry enough. So for the brick, I have just this red, which may get grunged up more than it is, but it's going to start out, goodness gracious, I have a bunch of it. It'll probably get grunged up more than it is. Okay, so this is going to go like this. And I just want to start, I want to make sure that there's an edge where sometimes it gets under the die. I don't want that on there for sure. So I'm going to start on this side. And like I said, I'm going to have grungy texture up there, so it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect because it's going to be fixed. I would like my miter edges to be kind of perfect if I can. I'm going to try. So it looks like it's going to hit right at that brick, which is awesome. That it's going to hit where I need it to hit. Find my scissors. I think I can just cut this with scissors, but I might try to cut them all at once. I don't know. We'll probably just cut with scissors. These are too little. Alright, so brick there. And then same thing, I want to make sure I have a full, this one's crooked, a full brick palette to work with. Yeah, I have extra. Because it'll line up better. So, get your big scissors. So this one's going to go next to that. I just want it to line up if I can figure out why it's not lining up. Alright, let's try this way. That's better. It should logically line up. Now, whether or not that happens, I don't know. Maybe I'll just trim it after. The bottom seems to hit right, but the top is not. It could be the box too. The boxes rarely are square. So we'll just cut this one and we'll trim the top in a minute. Because I know that fits there. That's good. We're going to just do one side at a time. And then this one. Oh. Got to kind of play with it a little bit to get it to hit right. Looks like that piece there fits good. Color is really different on this particular one, but like I said, it's going to be pieced together. It doesn't matter. That should work. So let's cut off one row of these. I don't want to have to trim a ton. I'm trying to go by the bottom and not the top because the top's going to get trimmed. That fits somewhat. maybe I'm not cutting straight. Okay, so there, and then I'm wondering if I should glue around the edge. It may or may not fight me. I guess I could try, or I could just miter the edge. Let's see. Let me see what it looks like. Put two up like this. Is it gonna miter okay? Or is it better to wrap it? I mean, because I could fill this in with grit. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. I think I feel better not curving it around the edge. I think. Let's just go for it. We're just going to glue it on there. Art glitter. Art glitter, PVA. Something strong. Possibly wood glue. It just doesn't, it takes forever to set up. You know, I'm going to go with art glitter. I just don't want to wait forever. Right, so, you know, I'm going to try to trim this. I should be able to trim it after, but you know, it might be difficult. Let's put it on this side. We're going to hope for the best. I know that art glitter glues to wood, and I know it glues to paper. So logically, we shouldn't have any issues. I'm sure collage medium would be fine too. I do want to make sure that my bottom is at least flush, because if it's not, it'll, you know, sit wobbly. So we're going to hold that down for a second, see if it feels like it's gluing. It feels okay. Make it sticking. Okay, let's line this up. It's going to take a little bit of time. And I can grout these edges a little bit with something if I need to, if they feel like they're showing too much. But for the most part, they blend pretty well. Give it a little second there. Okay, last piece. I think I'm just going to cut it, so let's see. Which side looks best? Doesn't quite match up very well, that side. How about this side? That's pretty good. Okay. Cut that there. And then that top needs trim just a fraction. This, I should use my blade. I didn't get that quite enough either. All right, we'll use the blade. Where are you at, blade? There you are. Fraction that off. A teeny bit more. Oops. Well, that doesn't work. I can touch it up. I'm not going to freak out. I can touch it up. Like I said, I'm going to be grunging these more, so I'm not going to, I'll try not to freak out if I get weird stuff like that happening, because my blade is probably dull. Scissors seem to work a little safer. Alright, it's holding pretty good though. Is that lining up? Is it that way? No, it was definitely that way. Was it this piece? Yeah, but I'm way over. Okay. If all else fails, use the scissors. I'm still a bit off anyway. Not sure why these bricks are not lining up as well on this particular spot. But like I said, probably not a big deal. We'll get them close. Don't know. I don't know. It's bugging me. Weird. Probably be all right, but it's a little off. Teeny bit. I'll trim. I might could even hit it with sandpaper after it's dry, but when it's dry, I'll just trim that because that's a little too far down. All right, sticking to my fingers. Okay, let's try to meet same spot. Okay, looks like right there. Yep. And then just below this line. It cuts nicely with scissors, honestly. It's got lots of grooves. Okay. Next piece. Make sure I'm in camera. I'm trying to watch my frame. There. It's not bad. The colors. A little odd there. What about there? I think I like that spot. Yeah, I like it right there. Okay. Good. Oh, I should cut that first. No, it's probably not going to be straight, but I'm going to try. It's close. Pretty close. I think this is quicker and easier than doing stucco on the whole thing to look like brick, in my opinion. And once I grunge it up and put moss and, ivy or whatever I'm putting on it, should be fine. Which one do I like best? Because we're not going to need all of these. Some of these colors are better than other colors. So I did them all at different times. I do really like, I think I'll put the not as nice ones on the end and the nicer ones on this side. I like these colors. bottom. Pretty much I've got the bottom right on a row. And then the top is, on some of them it seems to be chopping off and some of them it's not. Which, like I said, is probably, it could be the brick, but it's probably the wood box, honestly. It's a Dollar Tree box, this one is, so they tend to not be perfectly square. What time is it? 10, 12, okay, we're okay. Spread that glue out just a little bit. And I'm just trying to miter these edges in to where they meet pretty well. It's hard to see where I am on camera. Yeah. There. I'm gonna zoom out just a fraction, guys. It's really difficult to stay in frame. Make sure it's gluing. No. Did I wait too long? It had two pieces. I was like, why is that not gluing? That's funny. There was two pieces sandwiched together because these fit perfectly because they lock in wherever they happen to be the same. And it was totally two pieces there. I don't think I have two pieces anywhere else. No. That's the first time it happened. That's funny. Okay. With that in mind, this piece should fit. That was funny. Color's a little weird. I was like, I bet that's two. And it was. I like it right there. No, not quite. I think these have different heights. That looks good. Okay. It's not. All right, I'm gonna try. See if I can cut straight. Oh, not bad. All right, are they lining up? Almost. I just got a fraction there. Okay, good. There. Okay, and then I can't see it. It's too bumpy. It's easier just to, oh, here. Almost around, guys. Teeny bit tedious, but not too bad. honestly. If it looks good, it's worth it, in my opinion. It's sticking pretty good. All right, one more side. Hey, Marcy. This is one of the Sizzix mini embossing folder sets. I keep saying die. It's not a die, it's an embossing folder. I don't know why I'm saying die cuts. They're embossing folders. Saying the wrong word. Okay. Let's see what we have. So, is it one? It's really dark. Not this one. Really red. Alright, I guess you win, because I don't see anything closer. Oh, wait, what's this? Is it closer? No. No. I will. What about that piece? The color's a little, because I did them all different. That one color is really different. I'll just fix it later. It's fine. I think this matches pretty good. I'll just blend the color in later. So right there. Alright, that's good. I think art glitter was a good choice. It seems like it's holding very well. Okay, let's get some of these extras out of the way for now. All right, so we've got that, and like I said, it's hanging over just fractions, so we will need to trim it. I just want to make sure it's good and dry before I try to trim it, because if it's wet at all, it will definitely just rip and not trim nicely. So we're going to wait on that. Try not to curve around that corner. I don't want it to curve around that corner because I need to trim it. Don't curve. It's really fat there. Don't think I can. Well, maybe I can. See if I can get some of that off of there because it's like you can't quite get the angle with the scissors. So I'll probably have to go in and trim it with the blade. Can almost get the angle with some of it. Maybe different scissors? Maybe. Where are my other scissors? Let's see, can I get it with this angle? No. See, I can't get them flat enough. Not really. I can almost get them flat enough. This is the top. The top will have, like I said, all kinds of grunge on here. Dirt and stuff. So it's not a huge deal. I just don't want it sticking up because then it'll cause problems. When it completely dries, I should be able to sand it if needed. Right now, we're just going to get it here. Oh, there's a big jump there. Catching any of these really big overlaps. Get right into my wood. That's okay. Honestly, it does not matter. Not bad. Okay. The other side. It's like if you can get it to lay flat, it works good. But if you can't get it to lay flat, it's temperamental. I was having trouble with my blade ripping it. Scissors didn't seem to rip it as much. It's not too bad. Just a couple tiny pieces. No, I can't get it. Okay, that's fine. I'll let it dry a little bit more, and then if necessary, I'll hit it with sandpaper. But that's pretty good. We don't need you there, Brick. Alright. Let me get my little pieces for the glue to everything. Get off my scissors. Okay. Whew. You think that's dry? Probably not. We'll see. Let's see. Let's see how it's doing. It's warpy. It is definitely warpy. So that didn't work very well. I'm going to have to figure out a better way to clamp it. I guess I'll have to open it to clamp it. Okay. Well, get some glue in there. Not that much, but can't really get in there. Let's find a clamp I can use to do this. These work. Are they strong enough? Not really. What about this one? Maybe. It might be strong enough. Just that one piece is trying to warp right off of there. And we can't have that. That's just not going to work. Can't tell if there's enough hot glue under that or not. And I don't know how to get under there without pulling it up. Alright, where's my art glitter? I'm just going to squeeze some in there. I don't know why it's warping so much. But it is, so we gotta fix it. So maybe one piece is better option. Multiple pieces appear to have issues warping. We'll work around it somehow, but it definitely is an issue. The first one didn't seem to warp too bad, but those others really warped like crazy. Alright, that's gonna have to dry more then. And that's my floor, right? Yeah, that's my floor, so. Alright, we can't do that. Well, bummer. Bummer, bummer, bummer. Okay, what can we do? Get all my glues back covered. My rock, my painted rock. Paper. Clean that glue off. All right. I mean, I could just work on possibly grunging that some. I don't know if it would cause me any problems down the road. It might. Trying to think what else I had to do. Let me look at my notes. So I made some scrolls. I don't think I showed them to you yet. So let's look at those. Set this aside for a second. I made scrolls. Lots and lots of scrolls. So scrolls are real easy to make. Very, very easy. There's all kinds of videos out there if you want to look up videos on making scrolls. Some are fancy, some are not. But I did a bunch. Let me zoom in a fraction. Maybe if it'll stay in focus. So all you need for scrolls is some scrap papers. Could be coffee dyed paper, could be parchment paper, could be a digital with writing on it or something interesting. I just used scraps of what I had. And usually 2 to 3 inches long is enough. You need a toothpick. You can see I made a ton. And glue. Art glitter works well because it dries fast. So you get your scroll and you rough it up, give it some shading on the edges. Rough it up as much as you want it roughed up. You know, grungy, not grungy. It's up to you. I did them pretty grungy. So, and you can wrinkle it. You know, just crunch it up, uncrunch it. So it's kind of wrinkly. And then you take your toothpick. And if you want to keep this little pretty design on there, I painted these first, but they're real easy. If you don't want to paint them, it's real easy just to take your distress ink or archival ink. It doesn't really matter. If I can find some ink here. Let's use this one. Take an ink thingy. and just dab some ink on your toothpick, okay? Just color it so that it looks colored. You can use paint too, but it's really not necessary. It's a tiny little miniature, okay? And then if you want the other side where it's going to come out, you can do that side too. But then take your little scroll. Is this the one I was doing? I think so. And just pick a spot where you want to start. Now, it depends on whether you're going to A, leave this wood on or not. Some of these are just plain with no wood, okay? They're just plain. Some of them have wood on two sides, okay? Like a open scroll. It could have writing on there. I didn't bother. Some of them are tied, some are not. Some of them have little beads. You know, it depends how fancy you want to get. Little seed beads on there and some leather. In my case, it's just that wax thread. That's what I've been using. So if you're going to leave the wood on, glue it. If you're not going to leave the wood on, don't glue it. Simple as that. We'll leave the wood on this one. Okay, a little dab of glue. And start rolling. Okay, try to keep it somewhat straight. So when you get to what you like the end to be like, I keep it kind of loose and then just give one edge a little flip over just to make some interest and glue it. You can make it as tight or as loose as you want, but if it's a little bit loose, it tends to look better. So kind of just let it loosen up a little. And then you can take string if you want. String around there a couple of times. Give it a tie. Tweezers are helpful because it's tiny. Okay, you have a little tie. You can do one tie and glue, or you can do two. I've been doing just one and some glue because it's just easier to deal with. And just glue that string on there. And then just trim off. If you're going to put beads, don't trim it, but if you're going to not put beads, just trim it. A little trim. Okay. And then just chop off. Toothpick wherever you want it to chop off. I have some clippers that work much better than my scissors. Somewhere. Oh, there they are. Clippers. Okay. And you can sand that little edge. Just hit it with some sandpaper so it's not rough. And then you can put a little more ink on it if you want. Ink it up. And there we go. You got a tiny little scroll with some leather bound wrapping on it. Okay? Scrolls. Pretty easy. I did a bunch to go in, so they will go into our tables and such. Lots of little scrolls. Not too difficult. Alright, so I'm just going to keep all that together for now. Get in there. Alright, scrolls. And let's see. I'm trying to think what else I can do while I wait for this to dry. I really wanted to get that wood floor in there. That's my potion bottles and my books. And I really wanted to get this fence on there. Alright, let's see if it's staying down enough that I can just work with it to get the fence on there. It might be. Seems like it's, I think it's gonna hold. I hope. I hope it's not gonna give me issues. If it is, I'll have to rip it off and try something else, but I think it'll be all right. So I can't really close that, but that's okay because I'm working on this side. So we're gonna try, see if there's a way I can do this. Gosh, there's so many spots that just didn't stick. I really just need more weight, I guess. Can't tell if that went in there. There. All right, I don't know how to clamp that spot. I can't put tape around it or anything because that won't work. And I don't have long clamps. I guess I can't really work on this until I get this to dry. Which kind of is a bummer. So those aren't long enough. I don't think I have any longer ones. I'm looking around. I don't think I do. These, how long are these? No, they're like an inch long. And those only go maybe 2 inches long. So it just has to have weight. Usually the art glitter will grab fast enough, but so I think in the future, guys, one piece of wood or cardboard would be a safer option than popsicle sticks because the popsicle sticks seem to want to warp. And that's not good. That's creating issues. All right, I'm going to set this aside. Bummer. All right, I'm just going to put that weight on it. All right. I don't want to waste time because I don't do my vignette very often, guys. It's one Monday out of the week, so I think so. We'll have to put this on next time, I guess. We'll put the floor in. At least we got the floor made. I mean, that's good. So we got it made. We'll just have to insert it. I don't know where it is. It's floating around here somewhere. I lost it. Honestly, I seriously don't know where it is. I set it somewhere to dry. And then I promptly lost it. It's like, did I bury it? I really don't know. Oh, there it is. Okay, so we got our floor made, which seems fine. And we'll just glue that into the bottom once we're ready for that. And I'm good with that color. I think that color is going to look well with our room. Okay. It's nice and rustic looking. So that'll be good. So this, we just need to grunge up. I'm trying to think how much grunging I can do and get away with. Because it's still got to have that glued on there, so I don't want to mess with that side too much. Totally got a piece of brick there. Ideally, it needs to wait. Alright, guys, I kind of got myself in a corner where I'm not going to have the ability to continue. Boy, that's my line is so bad. So bad. Like I said, it's going to have grass and stuff, so it's not a huge deal, but I don't want it to be super crooked. It's not bad. It looks good. I'm happy with it. I keep picking up little pieces of brick everywhere, but I think it looks pretty decent. All right. So that's going to be the graveyard. So it's going to have texture paste and dirt. I can't do it now, guys. I'm bummed. Well, I guess I'll have to call it a night because I've got to wait for that to dry. And I don't know any other way around it. I really don't. I mean, other than just, talking about what we're going to do, I'm kind of stuck until I get that to dry. And if it continues to be warped in a problem, I will take it off and put just a solid piece. But I'll just do that off camera. But this whole ground area is going to be that graveyard scene with the kid and his parents and some tombstones. So it's going to have a lot of like dirt and grass on there. And the kid's going to be in here. Now, I haven't chopped his legs off yet because I'm debating if I want to chop them off or if I just want to bend them in there. Like so. And just leave his feet sticking up like that. Because his feet would stick up like that if he was kneeling in there. So it might not be an issue just to leave it in one piece. But he's going to be like that. So he's just kind of sticking out from there. And then his parents will be like sitting here on each side. Hiding him or whatever. I think they're hiding him from the skeletons, what we decided. So they're going to be stuck into the texture paste and the grass and everything. And I can't really do it well until I get this on here. So I think I'm going to wait on the ground for that. So that's why I'm kind of at a crossroad where I can't really do much until that one piece dries and I get it on there. So tell you what I will do. I'll wait for that to dry, and then before next live, I'm going to glue it to this base. Y'all don't need to watch me do that. It's just going to be glued on there. And then that way we'll be ready to decorate this part. Okay? But we did get the brick done. We got the floor done. So we got a little bit done. And hopefully, then we can put on, fun floral moss and grungy stuff. All right, guys. We'll call it quits. I'm just going to put something here because I have nothing to show you, really, other than my brick. Let's put a little skeleton dude here in the family. There. All right. So I'll see you guys next time. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your evening. I'll be back this is Monday. I'll be back on Wednesday, and we're going to work on our journal. So see you guys on Wednesday at 9 o'clock. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.